So let's talk about your hubs then. What is the key? What's the secret, Chris, to that distinctive sound they make?
It's the design of the ratchet, the freewheel engagement system.
Yeah.
Just inherent in that design. It's similar to what Hugie had done that ultimately became DT, right? It's a similar kind of system, but a much finer tooth configuration, so it engages quicker and stuff. That's just what those things do.
And when you're designing new hubs, do you look at the sound it's making? You want to keep that nice, loud, distinctive?
That's the funny part, is that the rear hub project, at the beginning of it, started with a roller clutch.
Right.
And roller clutches are silent, right? So I really liked the idea of something that was really silent, and that's what we were going for.
Yeah.
The problem is that the roller clutches, the way that those things work, they had kind of an inherent fatal flaw. And it took a couple of years to try and figure out what that flaw actually was and whether or not you could fix it somehow. And ultimately, I realized what was causing that, and the only way you were going to fix it was to make the rear hub weigh
Make a
2
noisy
or 3
rear hub.
pounds. No, it was, you could fix it,
Yeah.
but it was going to become a boat anchor.
Okay, I see.
So I'd had that idea for the ratchet in my head since I was in high school, and I thought, well, now's the time to give that a try. And I'd come up with another piece of it, that little helix thing. That had dawned on me in the early 90s, so I thought, well, I'll put those two ideas together and see whether we can now make the ratchet, make an engagement system for the hub that was going to work well. The cool thing was it was so positive and so relatively easy to make that it was able to be made out of very light materials, so the weight of the hub dropped dramatically, and the engagement, the strength of the engagement went up 10 times. The amount of torque that you can put through one of those rear hubs is phenomenal. It's like as much torque as a diesel semi-truck produces.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I still wanted it to be quiet. So original hubs shipped with oil in them, which wasn't really quiet enough. So we started on a grease project to ultimately maybe manage the acoustics with some grease damping. We got about halfway through the project, so we got the grease to function from a lubricity standpoint and so on, and then we were going to go in and then try to accomplish the acoustic properties to get it to silent it down. In the meantime, everybody got used to that noise.
Yeah.
And when I mentioned, oh yeah, we're going to make the grease make these things quiet, they're like, what? No. Yeah, no, we like that noise. We wanted that noise. I'm like, are you kidding me? All right, so we stopped.
Yeah, and today that's one of the hallmarks of your products, right?
Yeah, that's fine. You're the angry bee, right?
Yeah, and the rest is history, literally.
Yeah, the rest is history. So
there you go. There you have it, from the man himself, the godfather of hubs, the king of hubs.
So, we did an example on mountain bikes. People were completely into the distinctive noise, because it identified them as having that product.
Absolutely.
All right, makes perfect sense. Fine. In the road scene, a little tougher. So when we set into the R45 project, one of the goals was to reduce some of that noise, and we did.
Right.
So we made some slight changes with how the parts are configured. We made some changes to the seals on the bearings so they would spin faster and stuff like that. The road hub was designed for road use and to address some of the issues that people had trying to use our mountain hubs on road.
Okay.
Which you could do. It was fine. They last a long time, work really well. But they have real seals on them.
Yeah.
And, if you really want a seal to work well, it's not going to be, low friction.
There you go, the history of Chris King hubs and the distinctive sound from the man himself. Thank you very much, Chris.
Good. Well, thanks for coming.